absolute scuds right in front of us. Come on, mate. I mean, look at this, what we have to deal with, Theo. It's disgusting.
If it seals the lake, I'm happy.
I don't think it will. You're just bringing shame. Shame. So I can't hide my excitement today. This is an exciting day. Firstly, it's sunny for the first time in a week. It's a gorgeous day and we are getting to work on the terraces. We are removing the trees that we've given 2 years to bounce back, and the ones that haven't bounced back, it's time for them to go. So we're going to be clearing that up and I'm so excited to see how it's going to look. It's going to look lovely because every time you see them, they're just a reminder of the trauma this land went through 2 years ago. So I can't explain the excitement, I really can't. So on our way down, we will be stopping by the animals to let the goats out into their paddock. And I think I might let the chickens out too because we're not going to be that far away and there'll be a lot of noise. So any predators will not want to get involved. Look at this light. Good morning, gang. How are we doing? Oh, the goats are out and ready. Not going to be bringing you down with me today, girlies, because it's heavy machinery and it's dangerous. So you can just be hanging out in the paddock. It's been quite windy. This got blown away. Chicken food bag, how did that get there? Hey girls, good morning. Oh, gorgeous. Here we go. Get in the sun. Because now it's winter, nearly, technically autumn. You don't get the sun as early as you do in the summer. So come out into the sun, my loves. Okay, chicklers, don't wedge yourselves through the fence, please. It's for your own safety. Have fun. I'll see you in a bit. So the goats are doing their usual tactic of making me feel guilty, wanting to come with me because I am part of the herd. Not yet, girlies. I'm using heavy machinery. It's dangerous. You stay there for now. We can come out together later. Right, now I need to find Theo. I did hear the sound of the chainsaw. There he is. Oh, my chair is still here. I had it upside down so it doesn't get wet. Life hack. What are you doing lurking in the bushes? Are you planning on starting these ones first?
We'll start here.
Okay.
We can show them the others, but let's start here. So as Bee mentioned, we gave all of the trees on the property 2 years to recover to see if they would survive. Unfortunately, lots haven't made it. And I'm really excited just as much as Bee because we can now start to really tidy and clear up this property and make it look beautiful, because this here is just really ugly. Have to look at it every day. It brings back a lot of sad memories and you can see how dead it is. But this will make good mulch. We'll mulch this down with the chipper and we can use this for all of the new trees, to cover them on the ground, to give them all the chance to grow up. This has actually got mushrooms growing on it. But basically what we're going to do is get rid of all the trees in this orchard first, tidy it up. Let's go down to the other one because I want to show you guys the amazing amount of fruit trees that unfortunately we'll have to just completely dig out and start again.
Fundus the Phantom Crapper is on his way. He is nourishing the property with his poo, although actually I don't think cat poo makes a good manure. I think it's actually quite toxic.
Are you a dog?
Also, you might have noticed Fernando's getting his winter thick body.
Yeah, he's thick, boy.
He is thick and he's heavy. In the summer, he goes so skinny. He looks malnourished, but he still weighs the same. And then in the winter, he turns into this absolute chunker, don't you? He follows us everywhere. He's such a good cat dog.
So you can see this orchard was hit really hard. You're talking well over 200 peach trees just in this little area here. Well, it's not little. There's also another terrace up there that's completely the same. They just got hit so badly by the fire that they never recovered. Nature has started to do our job for us. They've started to fall down. There was a little bit of fruit produced from some of these trees this year, but not enough. They look terrible. It's going to look so much nicer cleaned up, and it means that we can replant fresh trees that are really going to thrive.
On camera it's always quite difficult to really show the scale, but as you can see, this whole terrace is just full of dead and dying trees. Some have got little shoots that have come up, but they're just too weak and they're not producing anything valid. So it's going to be really lovely to have all of this clear. It'll be so much easier to actually maintain this area, because right now when we come through with the tractor, obviously we have to dodge all of the trees and then come through with strimmers to go around them. And I'm looking forward to actually repurposing it. The terrace is aligned with olive trees and most of them are okay. It's just the actual trees on the main part of the terrace, as you can see here, with the peaches, that just did not survive. Fernando's doing a great job at shepherding us today. He doesn't do tours of the bottom half of the property. So now we are making our way up the hill to the terrace that has the multiple species of trees. Fernando's coming with. Theo's putting his bra on. Oh yeah. We need to get the tractor and the grapple. They're going to be our main tools.
Put the grapple on the tractor.
That's it. What did I say?
The grapple on the tractor. The tractor and the grapple. So unfortunately, living on a farm always throws curveballs at you, and my third function is not working on my tractor. The third function is what allows the grapple to actually go up and down, to clamp down, lift up the pieces of wood. So we're gonna have to get old school. I've checked over all the fuses, they all look fine, but the people who fitted it, I'm not gonna lie, the wires are a little bit ropey and exposed to the elements, so maybe some rain's got in there. I'll find a point in the evening where I can go through it and try and get it fixed. But for now, I'm gonna start on this tree, and the easiest thing to do anyway is chop them down into small sections that fit in the chipper. Then we can just stack them, come through with the chipper, boom, bap, boom, done.
Here we go. We're about to see the transformation of this orchard. So you can see that one I'm pointing at is a pear tree. From there onwards is keeping that, and all those there, the cherries, apricots, apples and pears. But then here, the dead peaches, you gotta go guys. Theo's already started.
So a lot of people do fit checks, like what they're wearing today.
Outfit of the day.
I want to explain about this chainsaw because it's small and mighty. This is good. It's an electric chainsaw. We bought it just for pruning trees. It's perfect for this. These trees are so soft, they're rotten. It's no problem. There's no point getting out. I've got another medium-sized chainsaw, and then I've got a big beast for felling trees. There's no point getting out there, mixing the fuel, getting them all ready when I can just use this electric one. It's actually stronger than it looks. And also, it's nice. You don't have to listen to the sound of chainsaws.
Do the fit check then.
The fit check? What have I got here? I've got...
From the head up.
Well, I've got a still helmet. Very nice. Very mindful. And then I've got a nice Haglofts top. This keeps me dry when I'm working on the farm in the pouring rain, which is quite common at the moment. Got the steel gloves protected. My hands will not get sawn through. And then what are these? I've got these in Bass Pro. Carhartt, very, very strong. And then down here, I've got some, what are they?
Solomon trail runners.
Solomon trail runners, so comfortable. They dry so quickly. So when they get soaked, they're dry for the next day, pretty much without needing to heat them up.
Perfect outdoor gear.
Let's go. And then I'll leave that and I'll push it with the tractor, see if we can't uproot it.
So whilst Theo is cutting the peach trees up into manageable chunks, I think I'm going to make some piles up of them so when we do come through with the chipper, we can easily just whack them through. And that is why he's cutting them up small, so they can go through the chipper nice and easy. Some of them are too big to go through, I think. I think the chipper can handle 10 centimetres. I think that'll probably be a bit too big. So that'll probably be either firewood or, yeah, I guess firewood.
You are that part of me, the only missing piece. No waiting patiently, I count the days to see you, honey, honey. Always and only. Let's lay out in the yard like we're in Central Portugal. We'll sleep out in the stars. Don't matter where we are. When I'm with you, I feel like I'm already home. When I'm with you, I'm right where I belong. I'm already home. I'm already home.
So I wanted to show you the state of some of this wood. This one is dead as a doornail. It was dried out and it is just like soft. Like I just made an actual dent in that with my finger. And they're being eaten alive. As you can see here, ants have been, little bugs have been eating it and have created a whole network in there. And the hard thing is with these trees, and because we gave them so long, is they had pieces that were dead, and then pieces that you can see here where they were still trying their hardest to survive, and they were producing leaves and producing a couple of fruit, but it was just too much really. This one is a fresh one that has grown off from the root of that one, and it is peach. So it's been quite difficult making the decision to get rid of them, but as you can see, a lot of the wood is really just gone. These trees were just too far gone. This one over here is another amazing example. So the tree itself was dead, 100%, like look, you can see. It actually fallen apart itself, completely gone. But out of the roots, loads of new peaches have grown up. And what I might do with this one is cut all of these suckers off and just leave one middle one to grow and see what happens. But we've had people saying before about something to do with the root system or something, that it might not be that particular tree.
They're like grafted.
That's it, grafting.
I don't think they are grafted.
They're not. These are all peach. The ones that have grown up or have managed to come through, some of them have produced like a peach. So I think the ones that look quite healthy, that have created a nice, good attempt, I'll trim around them and give them a chance possibly. But we'll see. We'll see once we get rid of all of these dead pieces, because there's a lot more dead than alive. So as I was just moving the chopped bits that Theo's put down, firstly, does anyone know what species this is? I did ID it before, but I forgot. I think it's just a weed, but I found a fresh oak tree growing, which is really exciting because we're thinking we want more just native trees in this bit. We've got enough orchards. So that's cool that one has planted itself. How lovely. So let me find this oak tree for you. Here it is. Here is the oak. Nestled down amongst the mulch. It's doing quite well. Hello. And oak are protected here, so it's really excited to have a protected tree growing up in the orchard. Maybe we could rename this orchard or part of the orchard because it's a mixture of so many different fruit trees. Maybe we could just call it like oak orchard, even though there's just one oak tree. I don't know, I'm getting a bit carried away with myself. I'm excited. Theo is almost at the end of cutting down the dead peaches. I think we've got one here. I mean, that's one way to do it.
That one.
And then there's one more just over there, beyond the figs. That is, you could probably kick that one, flying kick it. That was actually so impressive. Here. Oh.
Oh, that one's harder than I thought.
You can see here the demise of this one.
That's what we want. The roots
Well, yeah,
are-
the roots are dead. This one's 100% dead, but you can see where it was burnt. Never stood a chance.
Look at them bugs.
Oh, are they woodworm?
Don't know what they are.
I think they are.
Well, I'm going to fire up the tractor.
Why?
We'll see if we can't.
Oh, you're going to
these
push them
out.
over. Okay.
See if
Hang on, can we just finish tidying up first, make my piles? Any excuse to get the tractor involved. Are you going for this one? Let's see what this does. This would save us a lot of work if it can just rip out the... Oh, that one's so dead. There's like nothing. Yeah! Ace. Aces. Look at you. Whoa.
it looks more alive, so it'll be...
Yeah, this one had some growth on it this year, so... Oh my gosh, the tractor just makes insanely light work. Here was me thinking this was going to be a multi-day project, and we might actually have all of these dead pieces out today. Insane. Wowza. I mean, that's a monster. Absolute beast. There we go. Okay, we've found the first one that is proving difficult. Yeah, as you can see, this one had some fresh growth, so it's got some live bits, but then it's got dead bits. Maybe try from a different angle. Oh, there we go. Oh, wow! Okay. The ground's had a little bit of a ploughage from the tyres. That one was really dead. This one was a perfect example of one that was dead, but clinging on for life. So you can see here the main trunk was just gone. And then the root system's here, and a new one had grown off from the roots. surprisingly warm today.
Sweating.
Outfit change. And you might be wondering, why are we still picking these types of things up 2 years later? Why didn't we do it at the time? And the fact of the matter is, Theo was having to do everything on his own. Even though I was here, I was not here mentally. I was in the midst of a really bad mental health crisis, and I was just completely checked out mentally. I was no use. I was just a shell of a human. So it was Theo having to figure out everything on his own. He was having to deal with not just the fire, but then the flooding that happened soon after. So the focus really went on trying to get this place back to being able to get through and usable and manageable so we could move here. And that meant picking up and cleaning up after the flood, getting the pond working that was in the that's in the forest, that is part of the really complex water system here, getting the piping repaired that goes to the house, removing any trees that were dead then that were in the way, and all sorts of things like that. So Theo worked his socks off. He still does. We both are now. I'm here, present. I'm so much different to who I was this time last year because of my surgery. And it means that I actually can focus on doing things like this. I'm here, I'm present, and I'm helpful. Theo no longer has to do it all on his own. And yeah, that's why. A long explanation as to why we're still picking up remnants of plastic irrigation pipe that burnt 2 years ago.
So that went way better than expected, to be honest. Like, I wasn't sure whether I was going to have to get the excavator involved and fully dig the roots out or round the roots and then pull it out. But actually the tractor just ploughed straight through them, and now every single tree, all of the roots are out. So that's perfect. So on another day we can come back. I need to get some fuel. Most of my machinery is diesel. The wood chipper and the wood splitter are petrol, and obviously the chainsaws, but the majority of what I use is diesel, so I don't keep loads of petrol here. So I need to go out and get some petrol so that I've got some fuel for the wood chipper, because the wood chipper is again an absolute beast. It's so loud. It's not a very fun thing to use. It's quite aggressive, it's really loud. So I'd rather get all of this organized, ready, and then we can just chip as quickly as possible. But we've come up with a really good formula for the bigger orchards, because the other orchards are on about 100 times
Not 100
bigger
times.
than this.
10
I'd
times.
say probably 100 times. If you think of the two terraces,
True, actually, yeah, true.
100 times more than this. But we've come up, we're working well together. Boom!
We watched the July sparks, listening to chasing cars. Yeah,
So I had to cut the workday short yesterday because I had a team of guys coming over to look at a really sketchy tree that I need bringing down. I'll let you know why it's sketchy in just a moment, but it's very soggy today. Let's go and have a look at how the lake is filling up, because I can see from here, I can already see a lot more water. As I said, visibly there's a lot more water in that lake. I just love how the clouds are made on Miracle Mountain. Look at that up there. They are developed right here, which is pretty cool. But if I come round, remember I made that stick. Hopefully we'll be able to look at that stick and see how much the lake has actually gone up. And bear in mind, this lake is about an acre in diameter. So for it to go up, it's gradual. But look at that. There's a lot of difference. Look at the reflection. Oh, that is beautiful. I am so in love with this place. It's changed a lot from the fire and the flooding, but I'm still very much in love with this place. And I can see the water is about halfway. See the stick poking out there? It's about halfway between the two pieces of yellow tape that I put on there, and that means it's risen by about 2 or 3 inches, which in a lake this big is quite a lot. But yeah, it's looking absolutely stunning. And obviously Fernando had to come out with me. It's pouring with rain, what are you doing? We need to get you a little fisherman's jacket. But if you look down here, maybe I can zoom in. The flow into the lake right now, it's absolutely gushing out. You might be able to see some fish hanging around there as well. But yeah, that's really coming down. And also, what's not so good is my canoe looks like it's about to sink. Anyway, let's go and have a look at this problematic tree, because it's not very often that I can't do a job here myself on Miracle Mountain. I pride myself on being able to do pretty much anything, but this tree, it's just very tricky, this whole situation. So let me explain. So this is where the old woodshed was, and unfortunately when the fire came through, that set on fire and it set this massive pine tree on fire. I want to continue having the woodshed here because it's such a great location to store the wood, to have this access road all the way down here to be able to access and chop the wood out the way. But this tree is enormous. I'll put a photo overlaid so you can kind of see the sheer size of it. But it's not really the size, like I can fell a tree that size, no problem. But as you can see, the branches are so thick. They're thicker than some of these trees that sit around here, just the branches. And it's not only that, it's leaning in a pretty sketchy way. And here we have our animals, and here we have our nice cherry orchard. And then over here I have a nice oak tree that I don't want killed because that survived the fire. The one next to it has died and I'm going to bring that down, but I want to make sure I keep the live oak tree. They take so long to grow and I won't see a tree that size in my lifetime, so we want to keep that. So basically it cannot be felled that way either, because that is the dam wall of the lake right there, and if we fell it that way, the force of that tree falling could be catastrophic for the dam wall. So it's a really tricky situation. I am extremely soggy right now. I just got drenched, but I'm going to head down to the pond because I'm already soaking wet. But what I was going to say is I had a local crew out yesterday who, from the pictures, said that they could do it, no problem. But once they got here, they realised how difficult it actually was. And they don't climb trees, so they would need a cherry picker. It starts to get very expensive. And to be honest, I always knew that it just needed a climber, but I was hoping that they might have a climber as part of their crew because they said they could do it. But anyway, they were really nice, and it's good to know the local crews around the area. But I've literally just put the phone down to the climber who's gonna come and fell this tree in, I think, a couple of weeks. So look out for the video for that one. But right now we're gonna see what condition the pond is in, because I know from the CCTV cameras that the pigs have been running up and down the back of the dam wall, which is not ideal. And if I see a pig, a wild boar, I will give it a slap. But I also have to remember that although this is my property and I own it, they also own it just as much as me, to be fair. So the wildlife is here and there's not much I can do about it. All of the fencing, well, not all of it, but a lot of the fencing got really damaged in the fire 2 years ago. So some of it is on the floor, so they're able to access. Before that, we had fencing that was 2.5 meters high around the whole property with barbed wire along the bottom and along the top. So the wildlife can get on, but as I said, I'm happy to share it with them as long as they don't start to be too destructive. You can see that the pipe work is working nicely and the water is going into there instead of the pond. I turned the water off to the pond over 24 hours ago because I knew that this situation was going to happen and we're going to have a lot more rain once again. And yeah, the level of the pond is absolutely perfect right now. So the pond is looking great. It's at the level that I'd like to have it at when we've got all these storms and big water surges going on. So I'm going to keep it at that level for a little while and leave the spring going into the overflow. But basically it did rise. I think yesterday morning I came down and had a little bit of a problem because it came up here and managed to basically create its own overflow through the dam wall, which was really not ideal. And in the back of the dam wall, the water is coming out there. That is not good. So it's basically made a hole all the way through under the dam wall and is now flowing out. So, oh, no. So as you can see from that clip, that really isn't ideal, having basically water flowing through your dam wall. But actually the dam wall is holding up really nicely. All the stone that I put there is in place and that has stopped the whole thing collapsing. So right now we're at the perfect level. I did have a comment on the last video where someone was like, what's so great about this pond? It's just a dirty puddle. Well, it's a bit more than a puddle. It holds about 400,000 litres of water. So it's a lot deeper and bigger than maybe it actually shows in video. It's not the biggest pond. It's not meant to be. We have the lake. It is just a wildlife pond to hold water and also be another place for us if we need to have a sprinkler system or use for fire prevention. So it's a really good thing to have. And these projects, they take time. A pond is a long project, and that is why I started it now. So I know that it's going to take a couple of years to develop and get it into a place where it's completely finished, it's completely covered in grass. There is frogs sitting on the lily pads. It's crystal clear. You can sit on a dock, listen to the water coming into the pond, and it'd be a really nice place and have some really nice fish in here and create a really nice ecosystem for the deer to come down and drink from. So things take time, and hopefully you'll follow along and you will see what I can turn this pond into, because the vision is there. I just have to implement it. So it just looks like a big pile of stones, but it's actually doing so well to keep this bank in check. I actually can't wait to seed this because it's going to be beautiful, and obviously all this will be covered in topsoil so that we can actually grow stuff on there. There's some clear up to do. A lot of people were asking about these pipes that you can see over here, and they were all the old irrigation pipes, but unfortunately they melted in the fire, so I pulled them all out and we don't need them here anymore because there is a pond here. There used to be some old fruit trees here that were obviously irrigated, but there's no need for that. But how beautiful is this? More of this around the bank would be incredible. Anyway, enough of me, back to Bee at the house.
We are officially in apple season, and right here I've got a load of apples that I picked the other day that are edible, obviously, but they're not quite ones you'd want to just eat straight off the tree. They've got imperfections. They'll be totally fine to cook with though. So I'm going to peel all of these. I've got a good variety. I've got some bigger ones, some tiny ones. There's just so many to go through. So firstly, I'm going to peel them and then get them ready to go in a dish because I'm making an apple crumble. I really want to get an apple core peeler. I've seen them, people have them, and you just whack one end on this little device and then just move a lever and it just spins the apple around and peels it. And I think because of the amount of apples we've got, that'd be perfect. So right now I'm doing it with a knife because my vegetable peeler actually sucks. So this is easier. Whack you. There we go. So that's got a little imperfection. Let's see if we can cut you out. It goes down to the core, but when I core it, it'll come out. So pop that there for now. And all these scraps, I keep them because I like to then soak them and make apple cider vinegar. So that's really good as something that I have for myself and also to give to the animals to help with their immune system. And there's nothing better than making it yourself with the apple scraps. So the recipe calls for, I'm just very loosely following a recipe as well. It calls for flour and oats. And I really think oats are a really nice addition to apple crumble toppings rather than just the standard flour and marge or butter. I use this EBOOK. It is a vegan butter. And I use gluten-free flour because I am celiac. And then some oats. So it says 3/4 cup, but I can't find my quarter cup, so I'm just going to do a full cup. There's nothing wrong with having more mix than less anyway, because personally, the topping, the crumble topping is the best part. So there's a cup of flour. Pop you there. Cup of oats. They just go so nice and crispy. And then it says 1/2 cup of butter. So 1/2 cup is probably about 1/4 of this block. And then I just need to crumble it up into the mixture, make it like a nice breadcrumb like texture. And the easiest way to do that, and I know that a lot of you watching will know how to make a crumble, so this will just be like standard to you. Cut the butter up into smaller pieces so that you don't just have one huge clod that you then have to cut up. And I'm just going to cut it down the centre like that, and then drop it off into smaller pieces amongst the floury oaty mixture. My favourite kind of recipes are ones that require minimal machine usage, because then it's just more stuff for me to have to clean up. So using my hands as a machine is perfect. They are washed. And then you just gotta break up the butter. You're not meant to get it on your palms. It's just in the fingers. It's all there like this. Do a nice little crumbly for a while. Because the butter is it has to be solid to go into it, so it's not just like a runny gloopy mess. It helps create the breadcrumb-like texture. So this can take a while because there is quite a lot to work through. So sadly the mic cut out here, but I just put a layer of tin foil over the top so that the top layer of the crumble didn't burn. And then I stabbed it a couple of times to make sure that any moisture could come out. And I just popped it straight in the oven and cooked it for 45 minutes. Woohoo! Perfect! I did overcook it a smidge, but looking good. I just absolutely love making food with food grown on the property. It's very exciting, so I'm going to try it for the first time. Smells so good. Molten hot apple. Absolutely perfect. This is the perfect food for this time of year. It's raining outside, it's really gloomy, and I've got a nice hot bowl of apple crumble. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and we will see you on the next one.